Caveman News. Russia attacks intensify as the conflict in Ukraine continues.
The number of hospitalizations due to COVID-19 have dropped by 400 this past week.
In the forecast, you can expect cloudy skies.
And in sports, cornerback Kalen Barnes and Tyreek Woolen ran two of the fastest 40-yard dash times in combine history.
My name is Ian.
And I'm Danny.
All this and more here on Caveman News. Russia attacks intensify as the conflict in Ukraine continues. According to an article by Alexandra Meeks of CNN, it was reported that a Russian airstrike last night hit an apartment building in the city of Sumy in northeastern Ukraine, killing 21 people, 2 of which were children. Russians have agreed on an evacuation route, but several previous civilian evacuations attempts earlier this week have been cut off or failed. Western leaders have been accusing Russian forces for targeting pre-approved safe routes. While this is alarming, both the Biden administration and the NATO forces have pushed back on Ukrainian calls for a no-fly zone.
The number of hospitalizations due to COVID-19 have dropped by 400 this past week. According to the Associated Press, these levels have not been seen since November, when the Omicron variant made its way to the States. Cases, hospitalizations, and deaths went up dramatically. This past Saturday, though, the Arkansas Department of Health reported that hospitalizations fell by 41 to 371. The Arkansas Center for Health Improvement CEO Joe Thompson said that while COVID is still with us, people are more protected now and public matters like masks are not needed.
The forecast for Cave City and the surrounding area calls for a high of 71 degrees and partly cloudy skies with a 35% chance of precipitation. Tonight, the low should be around 42 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and a 95% chance of showers. Tomorrow calls for clouds with a possible thunderstorm and a 35% chance of precipitation. The high is going to be around 64 degrees. Tomorrow night calls for mainly clear skies with a low around 40 degrees. Saturday, March 19th, calls for plenty of sun and a high will be around 63 degrees. Saturday night looks to be clear with a low around 37.
In Indianapolis, Baylor cornerback Kalen Barnes and San Antonio, Texas cornerback Tyreek Woolen ran two of the fastest 40-yard dash times in combine's history. He clocked in officially at 4.23 seconds, the fastest ever seen for a defensive back, and it is now considered the second fastest time to wide receiver John Ross, clocking in at 4.2 in 2017. Barnes, who played in 41 career games for the Bears, Woolen ran an official 4.26 and, like Barnes, ran his best 40 on his second attempt. It all capped a sizzling week on the combine's turf as 8 wide receivers were timed under 4.4 seconds and in the 40, and 12 offensive linemen were clocked under 5.0 seconds.
That concludes today's Caveman News. I'm Ian.
And I'm Danny.
Thank you for watching. Have a good night.